All right. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to set up our pricing and our pricing groups in our iCANS account. Before you do this, though, you have to make sure that you have properly set up your territories as well as your asset types. Because if you don't do that, then pricing is going to be out the window. You're not going to be able to set up your pricing properly. All right. So we're going to go from our command center and we're going to go to the left side of the tab over to setup again, and then you're going to go to pricing and pricing groups. Once you're in, you're going to see all the different pricing groups that you currently have out there based off of your territories. So here, because again, this is a demo, we've got Orlando, we've got Brevard, Lakeland, Sarasota, the villages, lots of stuff in Florida, fake ones, Jacksonville. So here's Dallas County. This is kind of something that we set up uh, earlier in these demos, right? Under territories. So Dallas County, that's what we're going to work on today. And then might work on a couple other ones. Let's see here. Fort Worth, we can do that as well. And then I have my closest to office territory, my secondary market, and extended radius. So let's start with Dallas County first. All right. Dallas County, you're going to want to click on the top right where it says edit rows. And again, this is how we do pricing here in iCANS. I'm sure there's lots of different ways that you can do pricing, but hopefully it works with your pricing types. But it has in here the assets that we entered in. So right now I do rent out 15s, 20s, 30s, and 40s in Dallas County. You can do a drop off, swap rates, dump and returns, pickups, live loads, relocate, how many tons you include, and then how much it costs for extra tonnage after the included tons, and then how many days are allowed for your rental. So let's say, and then you can click on the taxable boxes to say whether or not this is a taxable item in your state, right? For all of the charges that I do, it is taxable. So I will leave all those taxable boxes on. But let's say um, extra tonnage, you do not tax. There's some states that you probably don't tax it because the landfill doesn't charge you taxes. Well, you can unclick the taxable rate, taxable box, and it will not charge taxes for those prices. Um, Suppose we do tonnage included. Okay. So tonnage included, we're going to start with that process first. Basically, in order for me to deliver a 15 yard to, let's say, a residential house, and we'll separate residential versus commercial later on. But in order for me to deliver a dumpster, I'm going to charge at the time of drop off or at the time of booking, technically. But I'm going to associate it to the drop off itself. So if I charge, let's say this is an example, $400 for a 15 yard for 3 days and 2 tons included. This is how I'm going to price it on iCAN's account. So my drop off is going to be $400. My swap rate, if a customer calls and says, "Hey, I want that dumpster swapped out and with a new one," well, I charge the same price. There are some people that discount swaps. I do not. But if you discount it, this is where you would discount it at. You would enter in a discounted rate. Let's say you give 20 bucks off for a swap out versus the original drop off. Well, in that case, I would enter 380 into the swap out. Dump and return, to me, again, it's the same thing as a swap out. Just basically, that depends on what my availability is, but I charge the same rate for a dump and return that I would for a drop off and or swap. Pickup, I do not charge anything additional for pickup, so I'm going to leave that at zero. Live loads. Sometimes you save money on live loads. And so let's say you also offer a discount for live loads because you're just going to the property one time versus going and then leaving, coming back and picking it up later, 7 days down the road or whatever. So let's say I do provide a discount of, let's say, 375 is a live load, although I have to wait there for them to load it, but that's kind of in your contract whether or not you want to charge wait time or how much wait time you want to include. To relocate the dumpster, let's say they want you to move it somewhere else. Well, you want to make sure that you have a rate for that in your system, right? So relocate. I would charge on a small truck 150. How many tons are you including? Although it says tons allowed, how many tons of weight are you including in your price? With a $400 dump, $400 dumpster, I will include, let's say, for example, let's say 2 tons. Extra tonnage, I charge 75 to $80 extra tons, and then I will include 7 days for this rate. These are not technically my numbers; they're pretty close, but I'm just doing this as an example for you guys. Do not, copy mine. It all depends on your area, of course. So now we're gonna move on to the second row. Actually, we can go over here, scroll to the right a little bit. How much do you charge for extra days? I charge $10 a day or $15 a day for extra. And then your fail price. So basically, um, if you're unable to pick up a dumpster, what is your fail price? Fail for me is going to be in this truck 195. Whoops, 195. All right. That is basically all the pricing I currently have for Dallas County for a 15 yard. And we're going to go ahead and do that for all other dumpster sizes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. No need to bore you guys. I'll be right back. All right. So I've gone ahead and filled in all the boxes for the different pricing groups that I have currently. I also, one thing about iCANS is you can also rent out equipment. So I have flatbed in here where basically I just did a 250 drop off, and then that includes up to 3 days for 250. And then if they want additional days, it's $20 a day. Your pricing is what you would enter in here. This is just an example for you guys. But once you enter in all this pricing, you're just going to hit click save, and that's basically it. That'll save your pricing into iCANS. Now, this is a new feature that iCANS just came out with. So I'm going to learn this with you guys. But if you want to do time-based pricing, we're going to click on add rows right below the county that you just did. You're going to click on which assets are you're going to have time-based pricing for. So let's say I want them for all of them. And do these dumpsters. And then if you want to do a material based pricing, if you charge different for material, this is where you would choose. Let's say you want to charge different for scrap metal or for concrete, whatever. This is where you would add that as well. We're just going to click on all for time based and then add allowed days. Let's All right, so this pricing is, and let me make this clear. This pricing is more for you guys who charge different pricing based on the number of days. So let's say you have a 3 day price for your dumpsters and then a full weekly price. Um, this is where you would differentiate between those two pricing. So let's say for a 15 yard for a weekly rate, you charge 400, but for a 3 day rate, you want to charge 350 or even 300, let's say. That's where you're going to do this. So this is where you set up different pricing based on the number of days or packages that you offer. So let's say I'm going to do a 3 day price package. So we're going to click that. We're going to do all the material, doesn't matter what it is. And then I'm going to click save and then 3 days. What it's going to do is add, again, more rows at the 3 day price. So then what you're just going to do is you're going to edit the rows here, go back up to edit rows, and you're going to do the same thing. So my 3 day price, let's say my 7 day price is 400. I want my 3 day price. I'm gonna give them a little bit of a discount. Let's say of $50. So I'll do a 350 price for a 3 day, and then 350, 350. Dump and return is going to be the same, or maybe even a little bit better discount. I don't know. We'll keep it the same. At a dump and return, pickup is 0. Live load is going to be the same price. Maybe I'll do a little bit cheaper, but I'm already really low as it is. So let's do three. Eh, let's keep the live load the same. 350. I mean, technically, the live load is a live load, regardless of it's you rented it for 3 days or for um 7 days. So we'll just 375. I don't know. This is stuff that you'll have to think of on your own and figure it out for yourself. Relocate fee is going to be the same that I charge regardless. Tonnage included is going to be the same. Extra tonnage is going to be the same. And then here's where you gets tricky because if I charge 350 for 3 days, is it cheaper? It's $15 a day for 7. Let's say we're gonna penalize them because we want that can back fast. So let's do $25 a day. If they book it for 3 days, don't hold on to it. We want it to turn and burn right at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we want it to turn and burn pretty quick. And then the failed charge is going to be the same. So that's how you would do that if you wanted to specify different daily packages or different daily pricing. So we're going to click save, and then I would do that for the 20s, 30s, and 40s as well to make it all even, or to make it all the pricing to show up on the website. All right, moving on. Moving on, we want to set up special group pricing. So this is going to be special pricing within Dallas County. So let's say again you have a lot of the most common use is going to be commercial use versus consumer use, or residential versus commercial, right? So this is going to be your base pricing. Let's say this is going to be my residential pricing, let's say, but now I want to set up commercial pricing for contractors, roofers, whatever. You can set up as many special pricing groups as you want. Like I said, I mentioned contractors, roofers. If you have your own company that hires from your business, you have multiple companies and you have your own company, you can set up special pricing for your business. You can set up special pricing for, let's say you have a really big client and you set up special pricing just for them. That's where you're going to add a group pricing in your iCANS account. So what you'll do is you're going to go up to the top, and under base pricing, you're going to click on that and you're going to add a group. Okay. So right now we have DFW pricing, zero climates under here, but we're going to add a group, or, there's multiple ones in here, but we're going to go ahead and add a group now. So we're going to say DFW contractors, or DFW roofers, or ABC company. Let's say ABC company gives me a ton of work. This is their special pricing. I'm going to call it that. And then we're going to link it to a pricing group currently in here. So we're going to copy it from the DFW pricing. Okay. So DFW pricing, and it's going to pull in the DFW pricing into the DFW contractor special pricing. So we're going to create this group now. So then what it's going to do is going to take you into the pricing groups page, and you're going to be able to update pricing for group right here. Now, again, keep in mind this is going to be kind of messy because there is a ton of different pricing groups in here, and a bunch of different territories and stuff like that in this demo account. Yours is not going to be this messy. But you can click on update pricing for group, and it's going to pull in all the territories that you currently have. So I'm going to X out. I only want to do the Dallas County, the one that we just created. We're going to get rid of all these other ones, make it a little bit cleaner. We're going to do Dallas County, and we're going to include 15 yards, 20 yards, 30, and 40. We're not even going to include the flatbed or the porta potty. And we're going to include these different things. Now you can discount it. A real simple way to do it is going to be to discount it based off of a percentage or a dollar amount. So all these can be discounted. Let's say my tonnage, I don't want to discount extra tons because I pay the same tons no matter who you are. So I'm going to click that out, and I'm not going to discount extra tonnage, but I can discount the drop off, the pickup, which pickups is always zero anyway, so it doesn't matter. Dump and return, swaps. So basically anything that I charge the client, other than, let's say, I'm not going to discount them extra days, let's say. And then materials, it doesn't matter. It's not even specified. So it could be select all materials, not specified. Doesn't matter. I'd rather just leave it not specified. That makes it a little bit cleaner. And we can discount it by a percentage. Let's say I want to give 10% off to all contractors. And it's that simple. Now you're going to create another pricing group basically with all your discounted rates. So here's your Dallas County. And then this is your under Dallas County will be your discounted rate. So you'll see here a 15-yard goes from 400 to 360. A swap goes from 400 to 360. 20-yard goes from 450 to 405, and so on. You'll see all these discounted rates in here. This is a special pricing group. So a really neat feature to make a discounted pricing group real quick based off your regular pricing. All right, next we're going to add special fees and any discounts, any other discounts that you may have, which you're going to click on your right here, the next tab over fees and discounts. Again, there's already a bunch of fees in here. Cancellation is unnecessary, honestly, because you already have that in your rows. Well, actually, I take that back. That's not a failed pickup. This is going to be a cancellation of a customer cancels. If you have a last minute, within 24-hour cancellation fee, you can add that in there if you want. Additional 20 to 30 miles. Let's say you didn't want to do a radius. You just wanted to go ahead. You just know it's going to be between 20 and 30 miles and you want to add that fee on there. Great. You add that on there. Somebody entered in a breathing air fee. I don't know, whatever fee that you want to add on here, you would add on here. So Rolly skates is something that I personally have as an add-on. That's something that I charge extra for, as well as a tire fee. Let's say we're going to create one here together. I have another one. I don't hardly ever charge it, but we're going to go ahead and add one in here now. And I'm going to add excessive height fee. So let's say the dumpster is overfilled as far as height wise, right? It's filled up, a foot, 2 feet above the rim, and your driver, you have to get up there and manually like push things around, flatten it out, and you have to sit there and waste 20, 30 minutes in 100-degree weather. We want to charge for that. If we know the customer needs to understand that we have those stickers on the dumpster for a reason. Do not fill past this line. So I do have an excessive height fee, and you can make it a flat rate or you can make it a percentage of your ticket. I charge an extra $100, and you can click on the little box here whether it's taxable or not, and then you save that, and then that fee is in there, so you can charge that customer an excessive height fee if you want moving forward. Again, something that I have in there. I don't really necessarily use it all the time, but that is definitely a fee that you want to think of. So anything that you charge extra for, credit card processing fees. Let's say you want to add credit card processing fees to um, all your tickets. Well, here you go. This is where you would add a credit card processing fee. And when I said earlier a flat rate or a percentage, you could do, let's say you're being charged 2.95%, which is an iCANS introductory rate. Um, you can charge a little bit extra and make a little bit of money off their credit card, whatever. It's 3% more or 5% more if you want to charge. If you have a fuel surcharge, 10%, 5%, whatever, this is where you would add in a fuel surcharge as well. Monthly rental rates. A lot of guys charge a monthly rental on top of the dumpster rentals. So this is where you would charge that as well. And then finally, how do you assign this pricing group to a specific customer? And that's a big question, right? It's very easy to do when you're taking a new booking, because when you take in a new booking, I'm gonna show you that now. Let's say we're gonna take a new rental, we're gonna create the order, we're gonna say we're gonna call it Roman Josh. I don't know. Add new client, commercial or residential. We're going to say I'm a residential customer. Roman, sorry, we're going to say it's a commercial client. Let's just say that. Roman Josh LLC. Pricing group. On the pricing group is where you're going to go in here. Don't forget, I made DFW contractors price. This is where I would click on DFW contractors. You can click on whether you want to link this to your QuickBooks or not. I'm going to turn that off real quick. Contact person. is going to be a project manager, J. Roman. Email's not required right now. Let's do a fake phone number of 972 555 5955. I don't know. And an address. So let's say 02. You can assign this to an account manager if you want, if you have certain people in your office that you want to track. But there you go. I've already assigned this new client to that specific pricing group. Now, now you would go moving forward with placing your order. And let's see here. We are click next, and then you're gonna, take a reservation as you normally would. Let's go ahead and delete this real quick. Delete this order. And let's say you want to assign it to somebody, a client that you already have in your system, but you want to switch them over to a new pricing tier. So you're going to go into your software or into your command center. You're going to go to your setup and then clients. And you're going to search that specific client. So let's say Danny Test or David. Let's say David, I want to change over to that specific pricing structure. You're gonna click on the client, and then over here on the left side of your screen, you're gonna see a little pencil, general information. Right now, the pricing group is base pricing group. You're gonna see David is under base pricing, but I want to switch him over to my contractor group. So you're just gonna click that little pencil and change the pricing group over to DFW contractors and click save. It's as simple and easy as quick as that. All right, this one was kind of a long one, but it went over a lot of the different pricing groups and different pricing options. Again, just make sure a couple things you want to make sure of before you get into your pricing is that you have your assets done and your territories done. If you don't have those done, the pricing is going to be all over the place, and it's not going to assign to the correct territory, nor it's going to assign to the correct asset that you have. If you don't have an asset listed at all, then you won't even be able to enter in pricing. So keep in mind that you have that already done before you get into this step. See you on the next one.